You are about to embark on your first or your next solo travel journey. And you're probably wondering what type of mistakes you should avoid because, well, there's a lot of mistakes that people do nowadays. I've compiled a list of mistakes from my own experiences, but also from many different sources that I found online. I'm not saying that this is an exhaustive list of all the mistakes that you should avoid. No, no, no. Oh, no, 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 no. But it's a list of 10 to 12. Yeah, it was supposed to be 10. The title says 10. But it's 12. If you don't know me, I'm Nate, and I've been traveling solo for like 3+ years. I've learned some stuff over the years. I've made some mistakes. Well, we've all been there. So I hope you learned some stuff. And if you do, share, comment, subscribe, like, and we can all grow together. So let's get started with the first mistake to avoid in your next solo travel journey. So you are preparing for your next solo trip. Okay. You've got everything ready, you're thought about everything is already on the floor, ready to be packed. Are you sure that you're not taking too much stuff? Are you sure? Because that could result in a lot of issues. First, money. More weight is more expensive. I can tell. Oh, I've been there. When I was traveling from Vietnam to South Korea with a plane, with my bicycle, everything, I purchased 50 kilos of extra luggage. Guess how many I had? More than 50. Okay, I had 56. Okay, it's not that much compared to 50. And you would think, oh, the airline is gonna be nice, 50, 56, like it's the same, you know? No, I don't know. $400. I had to pay almost $400 of extra luggage for 6 kilos. Why? Because that's their whole business. When you purchase your ticket, they offer you the chance to purchase that extra luggage. So you need to make sure that you stay within those lines. But if you don't, But also, overpacking could result in a lot of different issues. For example, when I started my trip bikepacking, I was in Taiwan. I did not really know what exactly I needed. I had never done that before or anything. And of course, I looked at a lot of videos online, everything, a lot of content. But in the end, nothing was really useful because it was not my situation. So I had too much stuff. And because I had too much stuff, my bike was too heavy. And because my bike was too heavy, it was too hard to pedal. I was just starting. It was hard to do 20, 30K per day. So it resulted in a lot of pain, first of all. And also it resulted in losing motivation, being frustrated, being sad. And it took me, I think, 3-4 days to properly sort out everything and get rid of stuff. And I had to literally throw away some stuff, which I could have kept, but I did not because I overpacked. In conclusion, don't overpack. Make sure that you take whatever you need. And if you're ever missing something, you'll be able to find it wherever you are, except for sanitary pads and tampons and stuff like this for you ladies. Make sure that you take whatever you need before you go to a different country because sometimes they don't have them. So keep that in mind. Moving on. That's a beautiful fern. Would you go running a marathon without training? No. Then why would you go solo traveling without properly preparing? Oh, there's a big squirrel. You will not. You're gonna hurt yourself. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna be painful. You might not even finish the marathon. So what are we doing? We need to prepare properly. For that, you need to make sure that you are properly prepared, that you know everything about what you're about to go through. First of all, and this is gonna sound silly, in 2025, I cannot believe that some people are not fully aware of the visa limitations, regulations, everything that apply to themselves. I have met people, listen to me, okay, because I'm gonna get angry. I've met people who could not enter a country after taking a flight because they realized that they needed a visa. In what world do you live in? Anyways, make sure that you know what visa you need. Sometimes you don't even need one. Sometimes you do, and you need to go to the consulate, to the embassy. You need to pay a lot of money, etc., etc. So check for your passport. If you're meeting other people from other countries, they might have different regulations. So check for yourself. Also, you're about to go solo traveling. As a solo person, as a solo traveler, you are prone to being scammed more than as a group. It's a thing, you're just a weak sheep. As part of the herd. It's okay, we just live with it. If you go to Thailand and someone in a tuk-tuk tells you, oh, I take you to this boat and then this temple and then this, and on the way we stop at my cousin's place, he sells suits. You don't need to buy. No. We just stop just to make him happy. That's a scam. You're not going to be forced to buy it, but seriously, they're good at trying. And same goes with the temples in Asia, especially. If they tell you it is closed at that specific time, hey, it's closed, but I know a way. Just give me a little bit of money, and I'll get you in. No, It's just open. So make sure that you're properly prepared, that you read everything about the destinations that you go to. Make sure also that you read and hear stories about your travel mates that you meet during your travels. So if I wanted to conclude this point, which is already too long, I know, prepare yourself properly. You're gonna go solo to new countries, new cities, everything. Everything is gonna be new, especially if it's your first time. So be prepared to be amazed, but also be prepared to be careful, okay? And prepare yourself for every type of situation, okay? We're gonna... All right, so we talked about preparation. You need to be prepared, but don't be over prepared either. I know it sounds silly, but don't do too much either, especially if it's your first time. Like, you need to let the unexpected get into your travel, get in your way. You need to get a little bit lost. You need to meet people. You need to have experiences that you cannot prepare for. I know. And you need to make sure that you're not over planning. I have met people, and hear me out, because I don't know how people live like this. I'm not judging. Maybe a little. I've met people who had an Excel sheet with everything planned by the hour for their 3 weeks, 4 weeks long trip. They had breakfast here, and then taxi, Uber there, and then this ticket to this, and then that, and there was no room at all for the unexpected. If you want to have the best experience, if you want to have something crazy, you may not want to do that. Of course, if you want to do that, please do, okay? I'm no one to tell you what to do. I'm just giving you an advice, and this could be a mistake that could hinder your experience. So just to conclude on this one, don't overplan. Chill sometimes. Allow yourself for some days where nothing is planned and you just go with the flow. All right? My knee. Thank God I have a travel insurance. Aha! You didn't see that one coming, eh? Well, if you followed the previous steps, you did see that one coming, because that's already on your list. And that's on top of your mind to get the proper travel insurance for your next trip. Travel insurance before going on a trip seems unnecessary. It seems expensive for what it is. And you feel like, oh, come on, I'm not gonna do anything crazy, so nothing can happen. Well, it could. You never know. So my best advice here is get a travel insurance. All the healthcare support that you have from your home country will not work in the countries that you visit. No one will be here to help you, except if you have a travel insurance. And a travel insurance that is suitable for you, not for your mom, no. We all have different medical conditions. We all have different expectations of our travels. So you need to make sure that you have travel insurance that suits your needs. For example, I fucked up my knee. If I didn't have a travel insurance, I would not have been able to get an X-ray and in a couple of days, weeks, an MRI done to see exactly how fucked it is. And I would just limp for the rest of my life. It would be sad. But I have a travel insurance and they're helping me, get all that done. So just to conclude on this, it seems vain to get a travel insurance before you go. But if anything happens, you will be extremely happy to have it. And my best advice here, because I've seen that mistake been done in the past, get the right travel insurance for yourself. Do research. I have nothing to sell you here. I'm not affiliated with any company or anything. Do your own research. And remember, if you're reading content, if you're watching a video where someone is pushing a certain company because it is the best or they're getting money from that, okay? It's not, no, they're not too nice. No, they're just getting money from that. So you might not see it, might not be written or anything, but they're just getting paid. So yeah, make your own research based on a lot of reviews and all, and be safe. And remember, if you ride a scooter and you don't have the international license to drive that or the proper country license to drive that, and anything happens, even if it's not your fault, you're doomed. Your travel insurance is cancelled. Moving on. Romeo. This video is going really well. We've seen a lot of mistakes so far, and you're still here watching. I hope you're learning something, and if you do, please subscribe to this channel. Leave a like, leave a comment. Tell us the mistakes that you've done in the past, or that you've heard, or that you've read. Maybe we'll do another video in the future. There are so many mistakes to make, but so many things to learn. Moving on! Alright, so this next one is a little bit more serious. Okay, we've got the trigger warnings on the screen. You can skip to the next time code written on the screen as well. Why are you going on your solo travel? Are you just flying away from a certain situation back home? Did you just have a breakup? Or did you unfortunately lose someone? I need to tell you that solo traveling will not solve this situation. I have met a lot of people who have been through that life-changing moment and then decided to go on a solo trip. As good as it can be, their expectations were not managed properly. What I mean by this is they went on that solo trip to try to get away from something back home, but it didn't work. And why? Because they were hoping that that trip would solve everything and that whenever they come back home, everything is solved. But let's just remember something. As much as your life can be different during your solo trip, as much as it can change you. Most of the time, it's not gonna change what's happening back home. The people that you've left behind will probably be quite the same. The situations that you've left behind will be quite the same. You need to make sure that you know why you're starting that travel. And you need to make sure that you know exactly what you're going to get after, what your expectations are. Because if you don't, you might be very disappointed and you might simply get depressed whenever you come back. So if we just wanted to conclude on this one, which is not a funny one, I know, but it's important. Make sure that you know your why. Identify that properly and be in accordance with the possible consequences that might happen after this solo trip. Now we're gonna move on to something a little bit lighter, okay? Because but the emotions, the emotions. How many times have your parents told you not to talk to strangers? Well, congratulations, huh? Because now that's what you're gonna do every day. Yeah, telling you that because trust. Trust is something that you need to manage properly in your solo travel. You're gonna meet a lot of people. All these people will look and be super friendly. And I'm not saying that you should avoid everyone. No, obviously not. But if someone comes to talk to you out of nowhere and just asking you random questions like, oh, are you alone? Or no, you're not alone. You're waiting for your partner who went to pee, or even better, to poop. You're waiting for your friends to come down from their hotel room. What matters here is if someone directly starts to ask you, are you traveling alone? Or be careful, okay? Be careful. Same goes as don't go to certain places or areas alone, because some people might not be trustworthy. We never know. What I'm trying to say here is, as a solo traveler, and unfortunately, especially as a female solo traveler, you are vulnerable. You're vulnerable to weird people getting in your way and wanting to do all sorts of stuff. Like, I don't even want to list it. You just need to be mindful of this. Don't overshare the name of your hotel or anything. That obviously not, okay? You're not alone, and etc, etc. And then dig deeper, okay? Spend a little bit more time if you want to get to know these people, this person. Dig deeper, okay? They might be absolutely normal and all. The world out there is not too funny sometimes, and unfortunately, we need to be careful. Why am I touching this? I don't know. But we're gonna move on to the next one. Oh no, I broke it. I've taken the computer out for this one because we need to talk seriously. If you've done everything that I've told you about before, you already know everything that we're gonna talk about today. But there's a couple of mistakes to avoid. We're gonna talk about money! Yay! This is on top of your mind. This is pretty much everything that you're worrying about at this point. You've budgeted everything. You know what is in your bank account. You might even have revenue coming in every month. Lucky you, lucky duck, But let me tell you a couple of things. Traveling is not cheap anymore. It can be cheap, but it is not cheap anymore. Let's just take an example. In Singapore, you can eat for probably $1,000 a meal per person, or $4. Bangkok, you can sleep for probably $1,000 a night, or $2. In Japan, you can take the Shinkansen from Tokyo to Kyoto for, I think it's $70 or something, or you can travel for free if you walk. You know what I mean? There is always that range of spendings that you can have. You, and only you, know how much you have for this trip. Let's say you have 10,000. How much more can you spend than 10,000? Don't even think about that question. Nothing more than 10,000. Duh. So because you cannot spend more than 10,000, you're going to budget everything according to these 10,000. You've already read about the cost of life, cost of living in the countries that you're going to visit. I can tell you these are not correct. These are not correct because they're based on the cost of living in the whole country for normal people. You are not a normal person. You are a tourist. Tourist prices are usually more expensive. You will do some activities that are just meant for tourists. That's expensive. Even in Laos, in very cheap countries, sometimes experiences like this are expensive. If you want to get a coffee, you can find a coffee which is probably 50 cents. But first of all, it's not going to be easy to find because everything is going to be for the locals, written in the local language. So most of the time your coffee is going to be $3. See what I mean by the cost of living is different? So whatever you've budgeted right now, bump that up by 25%. Sorry, I'm telling you the truth. If you want to be safe, with your budget. And also another quick little advice is make sure that you always have emergency cash with you. You don't know if you're going to lose your wallet or if all the ATMs in the village that you're in are out of service. It happens way too many times. So make sure you always have a little bit of emergency cash. Just like $1 million. Just a minute. I'm just going to add a few other quick tips, Okay. Oh no, I broke my stick. Sometimes you can negotiate the prices at hotels. They can align with the booking prices that you see online. Even cheaper sometimes. It's rare, but you can try. Also, if you see something where there is no price tag, you're allowed to negotiate. And usually divide that by 2 or even 3. And finally, I would say make sure that you check properly which ATM, which bank is the best for you, for your bank, your country to withdraw from. Because the exchange rate, the fees, everything will vary a lot. So make sure you don't spend too much money on fees as well, because, well, that's not necessary. I mean, I'm just saying at this point, like, I'm just saying. If a local person tells you not to go somewhere, believe them. Don't go. If a local person tells you, be aware of the stray dogs, especially at night, you be aware of the stray dogs, especially at night. Okay? If a local person tells you not to go swimming in a specific waterfall pond because it is kind of reserved for the local, you don't go swimming there. What I mean by this, and it will be very short, listen to the locals. Again, except if the locals are trying to scam you and they want money out of you, and at that time, don't listen. But otherwise, you listen. Okay? Okay, we're gonna move on to the next one. The video is getting long, I know, but you're still here, you beautiful. So you should subscribe because, have you seen my tree? When you are abroad, you are not home, right? Okay. I feel like some people tend to forget that. So you need to abide by the local laws and the local customs, the local habits. Guys, you wear a t-shirt. It's hot. Everybody's hot. The locals are hot, but they're wearing a t-shirt. You wear a t-shirt as well, except at the beach. Come on. You know what I mean? Ladies, as much as we love to see your beautiful bodies, don't go bare boobs where you're not supposed to be bare boobs. I'm not the one making the rules here, but unfortunately I see that too often. We're not in Barcelona, okay? Except if we are in Barcelona, that's... Okay, but you see what I mean? You need to follow the local rules, the local customs. And sometimes it could be as simple as putting your feet on a chair or touching someone without real permission. It could be seen as really disrespectful. You will make these mistakes. It's normal because you cannot know everything, of course. But if you do them, apologize. You say that you did not know. Thank you for letting me know. I will not do this mistake again. You don't do the mistake again, and you share it around you to your travel mates that you meet. Because you're gonna be solo traveling, but you're not gonna be solo very long. Trust me. So you share it with people around. Okay? 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 Okay, and before I forget, because I got angry, okay? But before I forget, you're in a new country. There's a new language. There is a language barrier. I know. You cannot learn all the languages of the countries that you will visit. It's too hard, too long. I know. Get the basics. Hello, goodbye, thank you. Where is the toilet? Not spicy, or that kind of thing. The basics. The people taking care of you in these countries are not supposed to learn English for you. You are supposed to adapt and learn the bits that are needed. Don't learn everything. Learn a little bit. The basics. This will go a long way, and it will show the locals that you are making an effort. And for once, maybe we will not look like stupid people in front of the locals. Like, they're trying their best to learn some English. So come on, we can learn a little bit of their language. It's the minimum. It's the minimum. So you're going solo. That's one thing. Don't do the same mistakes I've done. Stay in touch with people. In your solo travel, you will be doing new things almost every day. You're gonna get taken by the day, by the experiences, by the people, by this and that, the food. Oh, the food. But again, coming back to the point that I was mentioning earlier, back home, nothing's moving as fast. And some people might be worrying about what you're doing, where you are. I remember at some point, my mom did not even know in which country I was because I didn't tell her. That's obviously not good. So don't do the same. And again, like, I'm not telling you to say every time you're doing something, send a message or anything. No. But I would recommend every time you're doing something notable, share it. You're changing city. So you're taking a bus or a train to change that city. You're changing country. You're going on that motorcycle trip, or you've met this group of people and you've changed your plans a little bit to follow them for a while. You're going scuba diving, you're going rock climbing. So I would say every time there's something notable happening in your trip, try to share it with your loved ones. I would even say as well, share your travel insurance details to your close surroundings so that they know where to look for the body. So that they know who to call when they find it. But yeah, make sure that you communicate And I know I said there is only 10 mistakes, but we have 2 more coming. I'm a giver. I know I'm a giver, so you're welcome. So if you're like me, you're solo traveling, but at the same time, you don't have friends and you're socially kind of disabled, do yourself a favor. Don't lock yourself out of all social interactions. I know, oh boy do I know that it is not easy, but it will transform your travel experience. By just staying alone, you're limiting the enjoyment that you can have. You're limiting the options sometimes that you can enjoy. Just example of South Korea. There is a lot of restaurants where you cannot eat by yourself. You need to be at least 2 people. So try as much as possible to accept meeting new people, and you don't need to stay with them for too long, okay? But it could be good for you to meet people, to get into activities, experiences together. You'll see. You will just thank me later. And to finish with these 10, 12 mistakes, I would just say, get lost. Get lost. We have a tendency as humans to plan everything, to want to do this and that, and get lost. Go walk and you'll see where you go. Or try not to follow the same route as everyone else. You don't know what you'll find. Get lost. Do it often. Do it safely, but do it. And you'll thank me later. Okay, I don't know why I'm doing this, but this concludes our 10, 12, whatever mistakes on your next or first solo travel. I'm very proud of you. You stayed. This video is too long, I know, but you stayed the whole way. So first of all, you need to like it. You need to comment your thoughts, your mistakes, etc., or just comment your destination and we'll talk about it in the comments. Share this video to your friends who go on a solo travel if you think that it was useful. I hope that you've learned some stuff. If you have not, congratulations. Like, if you knew everything, like, great. I'm very happy, I'm very proud. I hope you've enjoyed this video as much as I've enjoyed making it for you. I really wish you a great trip. Please come back after your solo travel to share your thoughts about what happened and how you applied the advice that I've given you. You're really gonna have an amazing time. At least I hope. And if you don't, you have a travel insurance for that, right? Okay. But remember, we only have one life. So live it as much as you can. And on my side, I will see you very soon for another video. Thank you. And enjoy your travels. Drop the mic. I'm gonna drop the stick. Not the mic, but I will. Well, no, it's expensive, okay? Don't cut now, no. I want the people to stay on the video. Because some people that have watched it and they have not subscribed. So I see you. I see you. I see you.